Lil Durk operates on a whole different wavelength in the rap scene.
Exit out my life, another part of my life getting bigger. Like, that's what it is. You ain't gonna be able to take everybody with you. Once you leave somebody behind, that's when Durk, and that's when that bullshit.
He's got this uncanny ability to stay low-key, yet drop bombs when you least expect it. I mean, the guy even threw in a doppelganger for good measure, just to mess with folks. But it makes you wonder, right? Why does he strike fear into the hearts of so many? There's gotta be more to him than meets the eye. Durk, born on October 19th, 1992, isn't just your average rapper. He's a multifaceted artist, known for his skills as a singer, songwriter, and even a record executive. Under his real name, Durk Derek Banks, he's made waves in the music scene, leading the charge as the founder of the Only the Family Collective and Only the Family Records. From Vaughn to Drake, he's teamed up with some heavy hitters in the industry, blending his unique style with theirs to create music that resonates with fans across the board. Durk's roots run deep in the heart of Chicago, where drill rap emerged as a powerhouse in the music scene. Growing up on the gritty streets of the South Side, he was surrounded by the harsh realities of gun violence and street life. With his dad behind bars and his mom working tirelessly as a nurse, Durk didn't exactly have a traditional upbringing. In fact, he was out roaming the streets until the wee hours of the morning, even back in 5th grade. Talk about seeing the city from a whole different perspective, right? After ditching high school, Durk dove headfirst into the world of the Black Disciples, one of Chicago and America's most notorious gangs. That's when things really took a turn for him. But hey, before he hit the big time, he was just another guy uploading tracks on MySpace and YouTube. Once his music started blowing up though, everyone had their eyes on him. And let's not forget his buddy King Von. They were both in it together, riding that wave of notoriety. It's like a tangled web of respect and danger when it comes to Durk and his ties to the Black Disciples. King Von, he looked up to David Barksdale like he was family, even if they never crossed paths.
And Von saying King David was like his granddaddy, you see. And when people honor people like that, that's how they feel. You see what I'm saying? And he felt that was his granddad, just like I felt, you think he was my father.
So naturally, folks steered clear of Durk, knowing Von's reputation. Durk wasn't just feared because of his buddy. Things took a dark turn back in 2011 when a young member of the Gangster Disciples, Tuka, was gunned down at a Chicago bus stop. Just 15 years old. They loved him so much, they named the area after him, Tukaville. Durk definitely stirred the pot with his music, throwing shade at Tuka and the Gangster Disciples with lines like smoking that Tuka pack. It was a bold move, and it didn't sit well with some folks, but they never quite hit the mark with their disses back. Then things escalated when he went after another GD member, Lil Jojo, in his track L's Anthem. Nobody quite knew why the beef was on, but Jojo fired back with BDK, calling out Durk, Lil Reese, Chief Keef, and a bunch of other Black Disciples. Talk about chaos. That song got Jojo more heat than he bargained for. After Jojo dropped BDK, things took a dark turn when he was tragically shot and killed. Rumors swirled, with some hip-hop fans pointing fingers at Durk, speculating he had something to do with it. But then Chief Keef jumped into the mix, throwing some jabs at Jojo on Twitter. The police even started eyeing Keef for Jojo's murder. Meanwhile, Durk kept on dissing him like nothing had happened. Jojo's death sent shockwaves through the industry, and suddenly, everyone was looking over their shoulders at Durk, wondering what he'd do next. In 2014, Lil Durk faced a gut-wrenching blow when his cousin, OTF Nunu, was tragically shot and killed in broad daylight on the bustling streets of Chicago's South Side. Picture this. Nunu, an up-and-coming rapper with dreams as big as the city skyline, was just hanging out in his SUV at Chatham Village Square Mall when the unthinkable happened. A cold-blooded assailant approached the vehicle and unleashed a barrage of bullets, snuffing out Nunu's life in an instant. For Durk, the news hit like a sledgehammer to the chest. Here he was, making waves in the rap game, and suddenly his world came crashing down. Nunu wasn't just family, he was a close friend and a brother in arms. The loss cut deep, leaving Durk reeling in shock and disbelief. In the aftermath of Nunu's senseless murder, Durk found himself grappling with a whirlwind of emotions. The pain was raw, the grief overwhelming. He retreated from the spotlight, seeking solace in solitude as he struggled to make sense of the senseless violence that had ripped his cousin away from him. During Durk's time of mourning for Nunu, Mubu Crump, a member of the Black Disciples, decided it was prime time to throw shade at Nunu and DJ bands. Durk's DJ. It was like Crump was poking the bear, trying to rile Durk up by any means necessary. And boy, did he succeed. Just hours after his provocative tweets, Crump met a tragic end, gunned down in a driveway. Now, call it coincidence or call it fate, but isn't it a bit eerie how things unfolded? Crump dissed Durk's family, and then bam, he's gone. What's more, Durk didn't shy away from addressing it in his music. In Back in Blood, he dropped lines like, "You can't come back to your hood, huh? He was dissing on my cousin, now he's all in that wood, huh?" It was a direct hit at Crump, and fans didn't waste a second connecting the dots, pointing fingers at Durk as the possible culprit. Durk managed to dodge any legal repercussions in the Crump case, but the whispers and rumors about his involvement lingered like a shadow. Oddly enough, Durk didn't seem too bothered by it all. If anything, it added to his mystique in the rap world, cementing his reputation as a feared figure. Now, you'd think with all that drama swirling around him, most folks would steer clear of poking the bear, but not FBG Duck. Nope, he decided to take a swing at Durk in his track Dead Bees. You gotta wonder what was going through Duck's head. Maybe something like, hey, why not stir the pot and see where it takes me? But as they say, play with fire and you might get burned. It's like history repeating itself with FBG Duck jumping into the fray between the Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples, thinking he could throw shade without consequences. But didn't he learn from the cautionary tales of Crump and JoJo? Guess not. Despite witnessing his comrades fall for the same mistakes, Duck decided to take his chances and diss the fallen members of the Black Disciples. Just like Crump and JoJo, Duck paid the ultimate price for his words. Shortly after dropping his diss track, he met a similar fate. Some whispered that Durk might have had a hand in it, but who knows for sure? Durk didn't waste any time addressing it in his music, though. In Should've Ducked, he dropped lines like she asked, "How high do I get high as Duck?" hinting at Duck's ascent to the heavens. Maybe it's all just poetic irony in the grand scheme of things. Durk's never been one to hold back, especially when it comes to rival rappers, even after they're gone. Like a low blow in the world of gangs, hitting below the belt even in death. Then in 2022, enter Shmurkyu, a spitting image of Durk, popping up on the internet scene. This guy was living the high life, decked out in designer threads and strutting around with bouncers in tow. Durk's fans were shook, thinking they must be long-lost relatives or something, given the uncanny resemblance.
Yeah, I love Homebody.
Hey, why you just tell us, man, you 6 foot? You ain't no damn 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot. You saw me. I'm tall as fuck.
But Durk, he's sharp. He caught wind of Shmurkyu's shenanigans and decided to flip the script. Next thing you know, Shmurkyu's rubbing elbows with Durk, making cameo appearances in his music videos and even getting the VIP treatment at his concerts. Just like that, Shmurkyu's riding the wave of Durk's fame, soaking up the spotlight by association. Durk's arrangement with Shmurkyu seemed like a match made in heaven. He'd send him to places in his stead, and everything was running like clockwork. But then the fans started asking questions. They couldn't wrap their heads around why Durk was so invested in this doppelganger. Usually, when celebs catch wind of someone impersonating them for fame, they'd just brush it off with a couple of posts and move on. But not Durk. He was keeping Shmurkyu closer than a shadow, and it raised some eyebrows. Rumors started swirling among Durk's fans, with some speculating that he was using Shmurkyu as a decoy for protection. With plenty of adversaries lurking in the shadows, it wasn't far-fetched to think that Durk was keeping Shmurkyu on standby for a quick getaway in case things went south. Maybe there was more to this dynamic duo than met the eye. It's wild to think about other cases where look-alike rappers met tragic ends, like NCCA Youngboy, who bore a striking resemblance to NBA Youngboy. When he turned up dead in the woods, the rumor mill went into overdrive, speculating that he was mistaken for the real deal. It seemed like a stretch, but hey, in the world of gangs and rivalries, anything's possible. So, when you put Shmurkyu in the picture, rolling with Durk like they're attached at the hip, it's not hard to see why some fans were concerned. Maybe it wasn't just an escape plan, maybe it was Durk's way of keeping himself safe, using Schmirkeu as a buffer between him and potential danger. After all, in a world where mistaken identity can be deadly, it's better to be safe than sorry. You remember King Von, right? That was a tough blow when he was killed on November 6, 2020. His tragic death sent shockwaves through the rap community. Being so tight with Von, Durk found himself under a microscope.
Being at your level that you're at right now, are you ever afraid that any of that could ever happen to you?
It gotta be anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you a rapper, if
Yeah,
you
you never know.
Yeah. It just depends on how you move, how you carry yourself. Like you say, you in a strip club every week, something bound to happen because they study seeing you throwing money.
With some rappers whispering that he might have had a hand in Von's demise.
I forgot. The internet run the world. Because if you ask a motherfucker, what did you do? What did he do to Von?
Nothing.
Okay.
There were even murmurs that he was cashing in on Von's memory, especially when he was spotted rocking a gold chain that once belonged to Von. But Durk wasn't about to let rumors tarnish his bond with Von. He set the record straight by sharing screenshots of their chat before Von's passing, where Von explicitly asked him to hold onto the chain. Even someone as intimidating as Lil Durk isn't immune to moments of vulnerability. In 2021, a video surfaced showing him and Lil Baby shooting a music video. Durk appeared tense, fidgeting with something in the car as Lil Baby joined him. Speculation ran wild that maybe Durk was intimidated by Lil Baby, but the truth was more nuanced. This was right after the tragic loss of King Von, and the OTF crew was on high alert, laying low to avoid becoming targets themselves. Durk, seated in a convertible with the top down, was exposed to potential danger. In such tense circumstances, anyone would be on edge, even someone as formidable as Durk. Durk attempted to brush off the speculation by attributing his demeanor to exhaustion, but fans weren't buying it. After all, would someone as hardened as Durk really admit to being scared of anyone?
How did you guys first link?
I met him in the studio with Thug before he was rapping.
Before he was rapping?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he always came to the studio with him.
Yeah, I heard he never really wanted to rap, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like every time I seen him, it's like we caught a vibe in there.
So
I used
you
to
met him
ar-
before he was even rapping?
Yeah, but he always had the energy though, cause I'm like.
Is there any competition with like you and Lil Baby?
Competition is what?
Just like friendly competition
friendly
or anything like that?
No, hell no. It's just like he different though. Like.
Durk's managed to carve out a niche for himself as one of the most feared drill rappers, despite never officially being tied to any violent incidents. Even when he throws shade at his supposed adversaries in his music, he somehow managed to avoid any legal repercussions. Perhaps that's why other rappers steer clear of him, making sure they don't end up on his bad side. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to crossing paths with Lil Durk. What's your take on Lil Durk's reputation? Do you think he's truly as intimidating as the rumors suggest? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks for tuning into this episode. If you found it interesting, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated on our future releases. And hey, if you enjoyed this content, you'll definitely want to check out the video playing on your screen right now. Click on it, and I'll catch you in the next one.